Hey everyone, I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today we're diving into an emotional and gripping story. A journey through love, fear, and the battle against the shadows of the past. You'll feel every heartbeat, every tear, and every spark of hope as Jack fights to protect Tu Tien from the danger that once tore their world apart. So grab a seat, stay with me till the end. And if you enjoy stories that touch the heart and keep you on edge, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next chapter. Rain falls in thin, misty sheets, wrapping the streets in a quiet gray veil. The world feels muted, like it's holding its breath. Inside the small house, Jack stands motionless in the living room, the phone pressed tightly against his ear. His voice trembles as he speaks. "Mom, is Tien home?" he asks, his tone cracking with unease. The question sounds simple, but his gut twists with dread. The silence that follows is unbearable. Jack's heart beats faster, each second pounding like thunder in his chest. His mind flashes back to that terrible night, the crash, the hospital lights, the unbearable stillness when they learned they'd lost their baby. The memory cuts deep, sharp as glass. He starts pacing. Muddy footprints stain the old wooden floor, but he doesn't notice. His eyes dart around the house as if she might suddenly appear. The faint hum of an old radio fills the room, but it's not enough to drown the storm in his chest. "Tien," he whispers to himself, voice breaking. "Where are you?" Every horrible possibility floods his thoughts. The two men who caused the accident, their faces burned into his memory. What if they found her again? What if they wanted revenge? He clenches his fists so hard that his nails dig into his palms. Anger and fear twist together until he can't tell them apart. On the other end of the call, Tu Tien's mother speaks, her voice faint and uncertain. She doesn't know where Tien is either. That's all Jack needs to hear. Panic spikes through him like electricity. He grabs his jacket and bursts through the front door, the cold rain slapping his face, blurring his vision. The wind bites at his skin, but he barely feels it. All he can think is, "I can't lose her. Not again." He runs down the narrow street, puddles splashing beneath his feet. The dim orange glow of streetlights flickers through the drizzle, guiding him toward the main road. His breath comes in ragged gasps, the sound of his heartbeat drowning out everything else. He calls her name again and again into the rain. "Tien! Tien!" But the only answer is the distant rumble of thunder. Every corner he turns leads to emptiness. The houses are dark, windows closed. The night feels endless, stretching like a nightmare that won't let go. The dread in his chest grows heavier until it's almost hard to breathe. For a moment, he stops, standing there, drenched and shaking. The rain drips from his hair, slides down his face, mixing with tears he won't admit are there. His mind flashes again to her smile, her laughter, the soft way she'd rest her head on his shoulder. What if that's gone forever? Then, suddenly, the door behind him creaks open. Light spills out from the kitchen, warm and golden against the cold rain. Jack turns sharply, breath caught in his throat. There she is. Tu Tien stands in the doorway, her hair damp, strands sticking to her cheeks. She's carrying 2 grocery bags, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Jack, why are you outside?" she asks, surprised. "What's wrong?" For a heartbeat, he can't move. Relief crashes over him so hard his knees nearly give out. He stumbles forward. "Tien, where were you?" His voice cracks, a storm of anger, fear and love tangled together. She blinks, puzzled, then laughs softly. "I just went to the market." "You're soaked. And your face. Why do you look like you've seen a ghost?" He doesn't answer. Instead, he steps forward and pulls her into his arms, holding her tight as if she might disappear. "I thought something happened," he murmurs against her hair. His voice trembles, raw. Tutien smiles gently, setting the bags on the counter. Hey, I'm okay. I told you, just groceries. The small kitchen fills with the soft rustle of paper bags and the comforting scent of fresh vegetables and garlic. She moves easily, like she always does, humming a little tune under her breath as she starts unpacking. Jack stays silent, eyes never leaving her. The panic inside him is fading, but not completely. He still feels the echo of fear in his chest, the ghost of old pain he can't shake. Tutien glances at him and chuckles. You worry too much. Come sit. You're shivering. He obeys, sinking into the chair, elbows on his knees, trying to steady his breathing. Watching her move feels like watching sunlight break through the clouds. Slow, fragile, but real. Next time, tell me before you go, he says quietly. Please. She nods, her tone teasing. Okay, Mr. Overprotective. Jack tries to smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Beneath the calm, there's still that gnawing thought, the faces of the men who destroyed everything once. He can't let that happen again. Tutien places a warm hand on his shoulder as she passes by. That small touch, soft, steady, grounds him more than words ever could. See? I'm fine, she says gently. Let's just have dinner, okay? He nods, finally letting out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. The tension eases, little by little. Outside, the rain keeps falling, tapping gently against the windows. But inside, the glow of the kitchen makes everything feel almost peaceful. Jack watches as she lines up the groceries. Chicken, tomatoes, bunches of greens, a bright red apple rolling to the edge of the counter. It's such an ordinary sight, and yet it feels precious, like a miracle. He leans back in his chair, exhaustion washing over him. The fear isn't gone, not completely, but for the first time tonight he feels something else breaking through it. Hope. Tutien laughs softly as she begins to cook, and that sound fills the space like music. Jack's gaze softens. The past still lives in his mind, a scar that will never fade. But as long as she's here, breathing, smiling, alive, he can face it. Still, a whisper inside reminds him, peace can shatter in an instant. The past doesn't always stay buried. He swallows hard, gripping the edge of the table. Not this time. Not her. As the scent of sizzling onions fills the kitchen, he vows silently, if the shadows from before ever return, he'll be ready. Because losing her once nearly killed him. He won't survive it again. The kitchen glows softly under the low light, a warm bubble against the storm still raging outside. The air smells like garlic, onions, and rain. Jack sits quietly at the table, his hands wrapped around a cup of tea that's long gone cold. Across from him, Tutien chops onions, the rhythmic tap of the knife filling the silence. Her movements are steady, precise, but Jack can't ignore the faint tremor in her fingers. The tension in his chest returns. He watches her too closely, his mind tracing the edges of worry that never truly fade. Tien, he says finally, voice low, careful. What happened today? She pauses mid-slice. For a second, her expression doesn't change. Then she exhales, sets the knife down, and looks up at him. Her eyes are calm, but something flickers in them, a quiet pain she's trying to hide. At the school, she begins softly. I saw them, the same two guys. Jack's entire body stiffens. What do you mean? You saw them? She nods once, her tone even but fragile. They followed me. I didn't want to believe it at first, but it was them. The words hit Jack like a blow. His chair scrapes against the floor as he stands abruptly. His hands curl into fists, jaw tight. They dared come near you again. Jack, she says quickly, standing too, reaching for him. I handled it. I called the police. He stares at her, still breathing hard. What did you do? I led them down a dead-end road near the market, she explains, her voice steadier now. Then I called the police. They came before the men could leave. Jack's heart pounds so loud it almost drowns her out. He imagines the scene. Her alone, facing those men, fear hidden behind courage. The thought makes his stomach twist. He turns away, gripping the edge of the counter so hard, his knuckles go white. You shouldn't have done that alone. Tutien steps closer, placing her hand on his back. Her touch is gentle, grounding. I had to, she says quietly. If I kept running, they'd never stop. This time, I wasn't going to let them control my life. Her words stop him cold. He closes his eyes, guilt flooding through him. The image of the accident flashes again. Twisted metal, flashing red lights, the sterile smell of the hospital. He hears her crying, remembers holding her as she broke apart, and he hates himself for not protecting her then. I should have been there, he whispers. I should have. She shakes her head, cutting him off. No, don't do that. You can't carry this forever, Jack. He looks at her, eyes glistening. You lost so much because of me. Her lips tremble, but she forces a small smile. We both lost something that night. But I'm still here. You're still here. That has to mean something. The words hang between them like a fragile truce. Tutien picks up the knife again, trying to steady herself. The onions blur her vision, and she blinks hard, pretending it's just the sting. Jack steps closer, gently takes the knife from her hand, and sets it down. She doesn't resist. For a moment, neither of them speak. The only sound is the rain against the window and the low hum of the refrigerator. Jack finally breaks the silence. Do you think they'll come back? Tutien exhales slowly. The police said they'd handle it. I want to believe them. He nods but doesn't look convinced. His mind is already racing, calculating, planning. He's not going to wait around for another phone call, another nightmare. He crouches in front of her, meeting her eyes. If anything happens, anything at all, you call me. You hear me? She smiles faintly. You worry too much. I have every reason to, he mutters, and she laughs softly. The first real laugh of the night. The sound eases him, just a little. They finish dinner in silence, both pretending things are normal. But underneath the small talk, the tension hums. Jack keeps glancing toward the window, half expecting to see movement in the rain. Tutien serves him soup, her hands steadier now. Eat, she says gently. You'll make yourself sick if you keep sitting there thinking. He picks up the spoon obediently, though the taste barely registers. His mind is still on those men, their sneers, their careless cruelty. It's not just about revenge anymore. It's about peace, about making sure she never has to live in fear again. Tutien sits beside him, resting her chin on her hand. You know, she says after a pause, for the first time since the accident, I don't feel like a victim anymore. He looks at her, startled. I was scared for so long, she continues, voice soft but steady. Every time I saw a shadow, I thought it was them. Every sound of tires outside made me freeze. But today I didn't freeze. I faced them. Jack stares at her, admiration and fear blending in his chest. You're stronger than I'll ever be. She reaches across the table and takes his hand. No, Jack. I'm only this strong because of you. He shakes his head, but she squeezes his hand tighter. You stood by me when I couldn't stand," she says. "You helped me learn to live again." Her words hit something deep inside him. For a long moment, he can't reply. Outside, the rain begins to slow. The rhythmic patter fades into a soft drizzle. Jack glances toward the window. The storm is passing. He exhales, long and shaky. Tutien gets up to clean the dishes, humming quietly. Jack watches her move, his chest heavy with love and fear and everything in between. He wishes he could freeze this moment, keep her safe, always. But the world doesn't work that way. He stands and joins her at the sink, drying plates without a word. The simple rhythm, the wash, the rinse, the clink of dishes, feels grounding, familiar. Tutien looks at him sideways. "You're thinking too much again." He smiles faintly. "Maybe, but I'm also grateful." "For what?" "For this," he says simply. "For you, for the fact that you came home tonight." Her eyes soften. "Then promise me something. Anything. Don't let the past eat you alive." He hesitates, then nods slowly. "I'll try." "Good," she says, drying her hands. "Because I'm tired of living in ghosts." The rain stops completely, leaving only the sound of distant thunder fading away. Jack looks out the window, clouds breaking apart, a faint glimmer of moonlight pushing through. He turns back to her. "Tien, I meant what I said. If they ever try again, I'll make sure they never come near you." Her gaze lingers on him, half worry, half affection. "Just promise me you won't do anything stupid." He manages a small smile. "Can't promise that." She laughs, shaking her head. "You never could." The clock on the wall ticks softly. Midnight. The world outside is still, washed clean by rain. Tutien moves toward him, wrapping her arms around his waist. He holds her close, resting his chin on her hair. The scent of rain and onions lingers in the air. In that quiet moment, words aren't needed. The pain of the past still lives between them, but so does the love that survived it. Jack closes his eyes, feeling her heartbeat against his chest. The darkness outside no longer feels so heavy. He whispers, almost to himself, "I won't let them take anything from us again." Tutien leans closer, her voice barely above a breath. "Then let's start living again, Jack. Really living." He nods, holding her tighter, as the last of the rain drips from the roof, a soft, fading lullaby for a night that nearly broke him. In this emotional story, Jack is thrown into panic when Tutien suddenly disappears on a rainy evening, haunted by memories of a tragic accident that cost them their unborn child. He fears the same men who once caused their pain have returned. As Jack races through the storm in desperation, Tutien unexpectedly returns home, safe but shaken. Later, she reveals that those men had indeed followed her, but this time, she outsmarted them and called the police. Together, they confront the scars of their past, finding strength in each other's love. Through fear, loss, and quiet resilience, Jack and Tutien learn that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means facing the darkness together. Their story is one of redemption, courage, and the unbreakable bond between two souls who refuse to be defeated by fate.